Alim, спасибо. Okay, let me just get started in English because as Alim told me that there are some people who want just, to listen and overview the presentations in English. And then I'll just turn it over to Frank Hendricks, who is the Informatica representative. He'll be also talking about the vision of the data from the side of the Informatica. We've been representing Informatica in the region for about 18 years, and we've been helping our customers and partners to build and implement quite ambitious data projects. And basically, we have everything to share with you. We have the experience, we have the knowledge, and my colleagues who are here at the event will just go through the detailed presentation about the topics that just Alim mentioned. What else I would like to say? It's an honor to be here in Baku to run this event for you, dear customers. We really thank you for your time dedicating to this event. And our team, Informatica, PwC, and our Israeli friends will do our best for you to enjoy the presentations and discussions around data, cloud, and AI. These topics are quite hot nowadays. Everyone talks about them, but not everyone maybe has the experience and knowledge how to really implement that. And we have that knowledge, we have that experience, and we'll be happy, to share that with you guys. As Alim just mentioned, please feel free to interrupt us, ask questions, and let's make our discussions as interactive as possible, okay? But before delving into details of our presentations, let me just give you quick data numbers on the data trends globally as well as in our region. And I would also be mentioning Kazakhstan because we are somehow similar in terms of the development, but maybe a little bit ahead of Azerbaijan in terms of the project that we implemented. And I'll be just discussing, and my friends, my colleagues will also add up some details about the project that we've implemented so far in our country. Let me start with the insights that Informatica collected from CDOs around the globe. So in regards to data strategy, on the left side of the slide, you can see what comes to the mind of CDOs when they're asked about the data strategy. Basically, these things that you've been hearing as well and all the time, it all comes just, to data mesh, data fabric, data observability, AI, data marketplaces. And these are the hot topics that, have been in the agenda of our CDOs globally, and as well as here locally in Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan and in our region as well. On the right side, you can see what success criteria have been using the CDOs in order to measure the effectiveness of the data strategy. And just, it just boils down to how the data strategy helps strategic and daily business decision-making of the organizations based on data. Besides, you can also see that there is one important thing that, you need just to understand, it's a data literacy. This is very important because you can have best technologies, best processes in your organizations, but without having the proper people educated and ready for such solutions, for such, I would say, endeavors and initiatives, your data strategy will not be successful, right? So again, there are a lot of things that I think you've been also discussing in your organization, have been having focus on that. So these are the insights that Informatica just collected from our colleagues from around the world. Besides that, let me also show you another trend. On this slide, you can see how the cloud migration around the globe affects our local markets. Yes, on some on some part, we are behind the cloud in the cloud adoption than the rest of the world because of some natural restrictions here, right? We have some regulatory restrictions. We don't have hyperscalers in our region, and we have some other factors that we are not adopting the cloud. But it doesn't mean that we are not moving to that direction. And the cloud migration in the western part of the world have been a big topic. A lot of organizations have been heavily investing into the cloud. And on the other part, in our region, that's been affecting us in different ways. So there are four, let's say, hot ways that, we just want to share with you. First of all, because software manufacturers are pushing customers to cloud, they've been changing the pricing of the solutions. You all know that, for instance, Informatica this year shifted from perpetual licensing to subscription. And many manufacturers consider this as a just transition point for customers to move away from on-prem to cloud. And this pumped up the cost of the ownership a little bit, and it affects our markets and our customers. And we've seen some, let's say, maybe not complaints, but some concerns of our customers in Kazakhstan that the Informatica, for instance, or some other manufacturers pushed, the market towards the subscription-based pricing. That's one thing. The other thing is that because we don't have yet the readiness and capability to move to the cloud, and especially the databases, and because database manufacturers are also bumping up the prices and pushing hardly our customers in terms of the legalization, many customers, and especially in Kazakhstan, in banking and in telco, have been adopting the open source databases heavily in the big data initiatives and projects. And the third thing that, that characterizes this, let's say, shift is that there is an increased demand for virtualization and containerization in our market as well, because customers want to get cloud ready. And this is something that helps them to make, their organizations cloud ready. And that's also important trend that, we've been witnessing in Kazakhstan and in the region. And the final thing, there are a lot of investments into the data centers. So huge organizations that have been building the data centers in order to also get cloud ready for the coming cloud, let's say, revolution, as we say, in our region. This slide just emphasizes the importance of cloud. And it just shows that there is a, not just, economically, but there is a, in terms of the behavior of our enterprises, shifting towards the cloud. And you can see that there are a lot of investments into the cloud, into the computing, and as well as into the human resources costs. This is also comes to the fact that we need to increase the data literacy in order to embrace the cloud and data initiatives in our organizations. This is something that, happened just months ago. Our president visited the United States, and they've met with the Amazon, and Amazon provides some commitment to build the hyperscaler in the region, and namely in Kazakhstan, in the coming 2 or 3 years. And that means that will definitely change the situation about the cloud adoption. And we forecast that our organizations as well as the ministries will embrace this opportunity in order to shift on-prem solutions and the paradigm towards cloud adoption in our market, in our region. And this is something that, we would like to share about the data trends in Kazakhstan. That's, I think will be also similar to Azerbaijan. What pushes our organizations towards data and cloud in the end is that they are, first of all, building the ecosystems and super apps. Our banks and telcos are investing heavily into such initiatives in order to increase their competitiveness and earn more money right on the market and be competitive among the competitors in the region. And that also pushes the organization towards the data usage, because super apps and ecosystems, they generate a lot of data that you would like to analyze and to get the most of the value out of the data. And this is one thing. The other thing that we've been witnessing in Kazakhstan is that there is a huge demand for MDM solutions, and especially when it comes to business 360, product 360, and customer 360. We've implemented several projects on MDM in Kazakhstan, in banking, in manufacturing, in oil and gas. And these companies have been investing in these initiatives heavily for the past 3-4 years. And they are developing and increasing the capacities of these solutions in the organizations. Besides that, we've been witnessing the demand for real-time analytics, and especially banks are quite advanced in that sense. And that also pushes organizations to adopting the data and cloud, by the way, in order to really get the benefits and value out of the data. And last but not the least, many organizations in Kazakhstan, especially banks, have been refactoring or rebuilding their data warehousing infrastructure. And they're building the data fabric or something like that in order to, again, just to get the most value out of the data infrastructure. And these are the trends in our market in Kazakhstan. What else? There is also a lot of focus in the world and in our region on ESG and sustainability. And your government is also committed to comply with that and to implement such practice in Azerbaijan. And you can see, here's the news that, been published by the United Nations. We all know about ESG. I'll not just go through the details here, but what I want to say is that there are several factors or reasons why companies are trying to embrace ESG. First of all, there are regulatory reasons. You need to comply in order to avoid the risks of getting fines and getting some penalties and something like that. Another thing is that if you're a supplier to a big organization, the procurement selection process also considers the ESG compliance of the suppliers. Another thing that ESG also increases the valuation of your business or of your company. And it also makes ESG a very important and hot topic. And that pushes companies to really utilize the data that they've been having from internal sources as well as from the external in order to be compliant on the part of ESG. And this is something that, maybe was not a hot topic 2-3 years ago, but recently it's just been gaining a lot of traction. And we've seen that even in manufacturing companies, they've been also focusing on that quite heavily. And what this slide says is that Informatica has the necessary, let's say, capabilities of the platform in order to address all the ESG requirements. Basically, if you have Informatica platform, you're just readily, can address all the ESG requirements that you've been having in your organization. So these are the trends in our market and globally. And this is just, the thing that will help you guys just to understand why we need all these data initiatives in our organizations. And my colleagues, my team, will just delve into details of all these topics that I just mentioned in my slides. And they will just share some details and the experience of how these things will really help the organizations, okay? Let me just turn it over to Frank Hendricks, our Informatica representative. And Frank, if he's online, please start it over.